and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? It's your boy Zach, back with James, back with Drew for another episode of Garbage Time. What's going on, boys?
What up?
How we doing?
Oh, we are froggy today. Got some good info for all y'alls in the football realm today. First, we got our headlines, though. Headlines. There we go. Quick with the banners today. Still waiting on Aaron Rodgers to head over to the Jets. Again, it's a certainty that it's happening, but who the hell knows when that is?
Yeah, part of me wants this whole thing to fall through. Part of me wants this just to be like a thing and then he retires. But realistically, like, let's talk about it as like rational fans. They're just sorting out like financial details at this point. Like, I feel like the Packers are trying to get them to eat a bunch of that contract, and the Jets are trying to determine how much of that contract they actually want to eat.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like there's some sort of finagling with picks going on too. I know the Packers want at least some semblance of a first involved in that, and who knows if the Jets are going to give it to him. I don't know how the
what it comes down to at this point is the Jets need to make this happen as quickly as they possibly can, because, again, as legendary as Aaron Rodgers is, he still needs to come in and learn the system, and it'll still be under Nathaniel Hackett. But still, you need some familiarity with the guys. You need to get into that building and start working out there. And the longer the Jets wait, the less of a payoff this trade is going to have. So, I don't know. They need to make something happen ASAP.
Yeah, you're right. The longer it goes, the more they are going to end up paying the Packers for Mr. AR-12.
The more they're going to pay, and the less they're going to get. It's terrible.
I know. I mean, you see, they're equated in the same. In the same breath, Elijah Moore was traded to the Cleveland Browns. Let's turn it over to our resident Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh, dude. I mean, I love that. I think Elijah Moore has just had a very unfortunate career. I think he has the ability and the talent to be productive, but has just been cursed by last year, a system that didn't benefit him at all, that wasn't targeting him. Yeah, the Jets. And 2 years before that, Zach Wilson. And I guess last year also, Zach Wilson.
The Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. So him getting out of there, I'm not going to pretend like this dude on a team that is headlined by Amari Cooper, and like it honestly solidifies DPJ as a nice 2. But I'm not going to pretend he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver out of the slot. But I'd book, like, he's never hit this mark in the pros, but I'd book him for 800 yards a year. I'd be fine with that. I think that's a realistic number.
I think it depends on the quarterback play that you get and the level that your other receivers are playing at. So.
Well, I just look at it. Of course. Also very fair. I look at it in the same way that, like, look at what he did with the fastness of, like, Will Fuller, and made Will Fuller of all people look relevant, right? Like, if he can do that with him, he can do that with Elijah Moore's speed.
Yeah, I hope so. He looked like shit.
Gotta fucking hope so.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, though, to see the Jets kind of just rehaul their entire wide receiver core. I mean, getting rid of Elijah Moore. Corey Davis was there, and I don't know what the hell they're going to do with him, but I feel like he's just
they should trade him to the Packers is what they should do.
Yeah, he's got to be a part of that deal.
True. That's a good point.
That's gone too.
Yep, he went to the Dolphins now. I think he's just shopping around the AFC East, so he'll be on the Bills.
One more.
Yeah, he's got one more. He'll be on the Bills. I'm sure he'll complete the quadfecta
for the AFC East cycle, if you will.
Yes, and not to forget, Mecole Hardman signs with the Jets in kind of a tandem move with this Elijah Moore trade. So a lot happening for the Jets, except for the one thing that they really need is a quarterback. So,
dude, you put Aaron Rodgers in that system, it's gonna be scary.
What are you saying over there, bitch boy?
I might be. I said this in the comments, but I might be the lowest on Mecole Hardman on the internet. I don't understand the Mecole Hardman hype. He's never been a productive wide receiver. It is just the speed. You are focusing on the speed and hoping you can harness that speed, and that's it. But around him, there are plenty of other dudes who are just as fast as him coming in and already existing in the NFL.
I
But
think the hype. Oh, go ahead, Drew.
You don't look to a guy like Mecole Hardman to be a consistently productive receiver, though. He's a guy that is quiet for a while, then you go all of a sudden, oh fuck, it's Mecole Hardman wide open downfield because he's fast. So, I don't know. He's more of a big play threat. You're not looking to him all the time. He gives you some interesting options with play action stuff and pre-play nonsense. And
I guess, but like he's gadgety. And I mean, again, in the same era, I'm getting excited about Elijah Moore, but Elijah Moore did similar numbers with like Zach Wilson. He did it with Patrick Mahomes, but he has never eclipsed 700 yards. He has never eclipsed more than 6 touchdowns in a year, which actually this is his highest last year. He's coming off that. And granted, the Chiefs did use him more, and he averaged 20.7 on a reception, but he only had 26 receptions this year.
Right. And I mean, a lot of that, again, is you're not looking to him consistently. And the other big thing is he was on the Chiefs where he was sitting behind the fastest dude in the NFL. Like, he's just you, but better. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. You're not going to get any playing time when Tyreek Hill's on your team. Not when you're Mecole Hardman.
I guess. I'm just not big on Mecole. I don't see the hype. I've never understood the hype. I don't know. It's speed. It's the coolest kid in the playground. It's the fastest kid.
I guess. I mean, I like him, and I like him especially on the Jets now that they have a solid, fleshed out wide receiver core, and he's not expected to be their number 2 receiver or anything like that. Like, he's gonna be that extra guy that is gonna break the game sometimes. And that's really all you need him for at that point.
I can respect that. I think people expect him to be like everyone was after Mecole Hardman. Everybody was putting in their numbers to get Mecole Hardman. I don't see that in the NFL. I just don't see it.
And again, I like it for any team that has a solid wide receiver core already. I don't like you going and getting Mecole Hardman to fix your wide receiver core. Absolutely not. But
no, and
he's
a lot of
nice complementary piece to have if you're confident in the pieces that you already have.
A lot of Browns fans wanted him to come into Cleveland, and I never got it because we already had a fast dude, and he sucked. We currently still have Anthony Schwartz, and the speed thing just does the speed only gadget player doesn't work. Like, at least bringing in Elijah Moore, you're getting a solid receiver. Right. Mecole Hardman, you're getting in my opinion, gadgety occasional pop.
Yeah. And if that's what you want, then great. But don't expect him to be anything more than that, I guess, is the preface to this.
I can live with that. I can rock with that.
I mean, kind of like what I was trying to say is that, coming out of college, I get the hype, the speed, whatever, but that's the thing. Everyone saw what Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes were able to do, and they just assumed that Mecole was going to fill that void when Tyreek was gone, but he just was never able to live up to that hype. So we'll see. We'll see what he does with the Jets if and when Aaron Rodgers decides to just, join them. Again,
Aaron Rodgers has decided plenty that he is ready to join the Jets. It is not on Aaron Rodgers.
Drew, every time you get defensive, I'm just going to double down on my stance. It's Aaron Rodgers' fault. Adam Schefter was right. Suck it, bitch. All right, well, let's move right on from our headlines into the trash bag, a.k.a. Drew's home. James, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
My God, you're just really punching Drew in the nose, aren't you? You're just really set on that.
That's what you get. Don't be defensive. I was making a joke. Gosh.
It's okay. I'm not on good terms with Drew. Drew cost me a house in a video game. Anyway, my first entry into the trash bag is McLaren Racing going back to F1 because this is supposed to be a top 4 team, and they haven't gotten a single point-worthy result. They have just been terrible. They have been mismanaged. Their engineering looks like shit. All around, terrible experience for McLaren. I don't love it. I like Lando Norris, but it's sad. Anyway,
Drew, drop it. Trash bag.
Going in the trash bag, my one and only entry this week. It's the Los Angeles Angels. if you watched the World Baseball Classic, you saw Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout absolutely take over and lead their teams damn near single-handedly to the finals, to the championship. Shohei ended up winning it with a strikeout over Mike Trout. Fucking poetry. But then you take a moment, step back, and look at it and go, wow, these two guys play on the same fucking MLB team. An MLB team that is consistently in last place in their division. So, yeah, the Angels, I don't know. They should have probably won a World Series by now, but whatever.
And they'll probably end up losing both of them at some point in the
near future, and
I think
with nothing to show for it.
Exactly.
I think they would have settled for winning a playoff series at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
How about
fair.
making the playoffs?
They made last year, right?
I think they
did. I don't remember that.
I feel like they were in the wild card or like the one, whatever. Anyway.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, get back to me on that because I feel like that's not true. But again, I don't watch baseball and I don't care. So, awesome.
They have made the playoffs exactly once since Mike Trout's been on the team, and they did not win a game.
Right, but with Shohei, they haven't made the playoffs.
No, they sure haven't.
Yeah, okay, that was my point. Boy, do I have a doozy for the trash bag this week because I was listening to ye old local sports radio this morning and was made aware of this situation. Actually, sorry, I have two. The first one is not a station that I listen to, but one of the announcers decided it would be a great idea to just throw out a nice little racial slur at a celebrity that he probably doesn't even know. I won't get into the matter, but yeah, you're going in the trash bag. You're a piece of shit. Hope you're suspended forever.
Solidified it.
Yep.
I love that he tried originally covering it up with saying, no, I was thinking of Mila Kunis.
That doesn't, no. Anyways, the second one is, I don't want to say more egregious because it's not, but it's like, the other one was one person and saying something really bad. This is kind of like an entire organization and just deserves to be in the trash bag, and that's the NBA. The NBA ref situation from yesterday's game. I don't know if anyone, if either of you saw this or if anyone out there is listening.
I heard.
Mavs Warriors game. There's like a minute 50 left in the game. It's pretty much dead even. It's supposed to be the Mavs ball. The refs tell the Mavs they have the ball. The refs grant the Mavericks a timeout. You can only do that if you have possession of the ball. You can only do that if you have possession of the ball. They grant the Mavericks a timeout. They take the timeout, come out on the other end. Both of the teams are on separate ends of the court. The Warriors are on the Mavs side of the court, and the Mavs are on the Warriors side of the court because the Mavs thought they had the ball. The refs go down to the Warriors, give them the ball, let them inbound it without letting anyone else on the court know, and they score a free 2 points. Drew, would you care to tell me what the final score of the Mavs-Warriors game was last night? Actually, don't even tell me that. What was the final margin of victory for the team that won that game?
I'm going to go with 2 points. Zach.
2 points! 2 fucking points, Drew. The NBA referee situation is absolutely embarrassing. They need to
all officiating situations are presently embarrassing.
But that is so egregious. Like,
yeah,
you can't you tell a team that they have the ball, give them a timeout indicating that they have the ball, and then just not tell them and give the other team 2 free points, which literally decided the game. And then they were going off about how Chris Paul, there's one referee that Chris Paul never wins with. And they went through the statistics. He's like 0-75 in these games with this one referee.
That's statistically impossible.
Again, hyperbole, but you understand what I'm saying. He has like a 1/3 win percentage with this one specific referee reffing his game. And Chris Paul's been around for a while, so that's a really fucking large sample size. So, I mean, I don't know. But between that and then this whole Mavs-Warrior situation, the NBA can go in the trash bag. Joke. What a joke.
The first game I've ever seen that someone's actually like sending it to the NBA and being like, fix your reps. Like
Yeah,
they're
he literally filed a grievance. He's like,
yeah.
no, this isn't happening anymore. Oh my god, that pisses me off. I hate refs to begin with, but like that is Blake Drew.
Yeah.
But let's. Oh, that was. Really, see, he like turned into like a.
Yeah, no, he turned into Shadow Man.
Yeah, Shadow Drew. All right,
Yeah,
well, if we are done with Lay Trash Bag and my mini rage cage about referees, I don't believe we have a question of the week. I know Drew and I talked about it last week, but I think with the news of Mike Gesicki being signed for the Patriots, it was which tight end would you like to see the Patriots draft if they do go for a tight end now that Jonnu Smith was traded? I think that was the full extent of the question. I didn't really have a preference, honestly, because still have Hunter Henry, he's still good, and then they signed Mike Gesicki, so that is a moot point. But speaking of tight ends, our first big segment of the night, Draft Day Darlings, in our top 5 tight ends of this draft.
Yes, sir.
All right, boys, who would like to start us off for their number 1 tight end coming out of this draft?
I'm always down to start off if you would like.
All right, just send it.
So
Wrong.
I'm looking at it. It's not wrong. It's really not wrong. I don't understand. I'm looking at your list, and I don't understand it. I can respect it because everyone is allowed their individual opinion. But Michael Mayer, Notre Dame tight end's my number 1. He's got the size. He's got the hands. He's got the lowest or highest floor. Like, he's not built to fail. Like, there's a lot to build off of with Mayer. The thing I will say, and it's hard to say this as a compliment, he's clunky, but in like the best kind of way. And I don't want to do this because I feel like we do this every fucking year with tight ends. There's always one, but like in a very Gronkowski way, when he runs, he just runs clunky and like awkwardly, but it works, and he just powers through people. I love that. I love everything about Michael Mayer. That's my one.
I know obviously this is gonna like set you off on a fucking spiral, James, but I disagree. I think that again, not trying to take too much from the combine, but I don't know how you couldn't watch the combine and say that Darnell Washington isn't your number 1 right now. I couldn't.
College.
So what? You watched him in college, great. This is the NFL now, baby. Size matters.
So what? You watched him play football.
I like everything that he's got going on for him. His size is the biggest thing for me. I feel like a lot of tight ends that are getting drafted are a lot slimmer, a lot leaner. He's just a big dude. He's got an insane catch radius. He's got great hands. I mean, he's everything that you want if you want someone that can go down the field and catch the ball. He towers over everyone. I mean, again, I'm not really looking at this draft class and saying that there's a cut number 1. These two, I guess, for me, Mayer and Washington, but I don't know. Like, tight ends are always weird. I feel like there's never usually a consensus one that always comes out, right? I mean, like, at least
Pitts was like the last one that was like,
yeah, but I mean, look at how that's panned out. He's been good, but he
was a 1,000-yard receiver his freshman rookie year.
Yeah, but he has like 1 touchdown.
Okay. I still have faith in Kyle Pitts.
You have 1,000 yards on the Atlanta Falcons. You didn't score at all, so I really don't see that as being a balanced. I mean, who else are you throwing to? You're Calvin Ridley? Yeah, he was suspended for gambling. So who else you got?
Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Drew, who's your number 1 tight end before I start going and I get canceled off of this show?
Calvin Ridley.
Are you good?
Calvin Ridley.
What?
Calvin Ridley. Anyways.
Like that Drew goes in the darkness, he says Calvin Ridley disappears.
What's wrong with Calvin Ridley?
Anyways. So So yeah, no, I agree with James.
He
I think
existed?
Michael Mayer is the best tight end all around in this class. As we said, you're getting an all around dude. He's not gonna be Travis Kelce. He's not gonna be burning people downfield. I like the Jason Witten comparisons. I think that's a fantastic fit. Just solid route running, solid blocking. I get everything, full package. So that's all I got.
I'm with it.
All right, well, cool. Let's go to our number 2, and surprise, Michael Mayer, number 2 for me. So I got nothing to say. Good luck, have fun. Whoever the fuck else you guys got, go for it.
Drew, you want to take this one?
Sure. I am gonna go with Dalton Kincaid.
Bullshit. You're
What's up, baby?
You're just scared because you know he's gonna be good. You're scared. You don't want the truth, Drew. You don't want
I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I'm saying that these two tight ends are better presently.
Nah, Darnell's better. Sorry.
So,
You're wrong.
Dalton Kincaid.
That's the show. Drew's wrong. Anyways, James, why don't you go move forward? Sorry.
Drew,
What's
if
the
you
show?
want to finish your point. If you want to
No,
finish
go ahead, James.
I promise to be a good boy.
Dalton-
No, I promise I won't do it.
Again, my fault for watching college football. Dalton Kincaid is electric. He is. I know this is a note, and I'm not going to take it, but he is just the best receiving tight end in this class by far and away. He is a playmaker. He is great to stretch the field out. He is as close to that like route running tight end you're going to get with Travis Kelce. I'm not putting that comp out there for him. I don't know what true comp I would give him, but Dalton Kincaid is my 2. I want to see him get a little bit like more muscle on him, but he's my 2.
Go ahead, Drew.
Reliability.
Also reliability. That man don't drop.
And he runs crispy routes. So
yeah,
where he's going to be, and you know he ain't going to drop it. That's all you can ask.
I'll take all that and raise you. He's my number 3 tight end off the board. His size concerns me as a tight end. And he's also literally just a wide receiver. That's it. That's the tweet. He's a wide receiver.
That was the point I saw in yours. I get what you're saying, but in the modern NFL, that doesn't necessarily like not play.
No, and again, I understand that. And to my point with why I'm so high on Darnell Washington and lower on a guy like Kincaid is the size. I mean, I guess I'm still stuck in the traditional ways of tight ends where they're literally linemen that can catch and run down the field and run routes.
No, see, that's where you're wrong. Tight ends now are wide receivers that can block.
Mm-hmm. That's where you flip the mentality.
Right, and I understand that, but I'm still with that sentiment that a 6'7" dude running down the field that has a catch radius of, I don't know, 4.5, 5 feet. Is that good? I don't know. I don't know the catch radius of anyone that's good, but I just know he's got a really good catch radius. I've seen a lot of his clips. That's besides the point. I don't know. Dalton Kincaid's a little small for me for a tight end. I don't know. That concerns me, especially with a lot of teams that just put people at blocking tight end and just leave them out there to drown. So.
That doesn't happen. There are very, very few blocking tight ends used in the league anymore. Very few.
Mm-hmm. Austin Hooper. He was used as a blocking tight end a lot as a Brown. It was really unfortunate.
I guess coming from a team that had 2 tight ends and one of them was mainly used for blocking, that makes sense. Jonnu Smith literally didn't do a damn thing and just blocked. So I guess that's just a perception issue on my part, but I don't know. He's a good wide receiver, sure. Tight end, whatever.
So I guess I'll lead off with my number 3 pick.
That's what I was going to say.
No, Zach already let off with his number 3 pick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid. All right, so I guess I'll middle off with my I'll hit in the 2-hole. Sam Laporta out of the Iowa tight end factory. He fits the mold. He's reliable. He can catch. I want to give him a little more like rack ability than Dalton Kincaid, but I'm not 100% sure I'm sold on that. That's why I kind of have him in that 3 spot. I think any of the top 3 guys I have listed here, Mayer, Kincaid, or Laporta, you're going to get a great receiving tight end. I just think Kincaid and Laporta are going to be more of your playmakers than Mayer, where Mayer's a little bit more well-rounded.
I agree. And yeah, Laporta, like you said, is going to be more of a catch and run kind of guy. You're not going to see him separating downfield a whole lot. But I mean, hey, if you can stretch the field in other ways, he's a great tight end to have underneath.
And he really does just fit like the Iowa mold, like the Kittle, the Fant, the fucking Hawk. Like he just feels like you're watching them. It's fun. It's good. It's going to translate.
I do agree.
With that, Zach, unless Drew wants to go, but with that.
Zach already went.
Not for 4.
He's talking about number 4.
I haven't talked about number 3 yet. So.
Oh, Drew, I'm
I
sorry.
thought you just said you agreed.
Well, I said I agree with his sentiment. Doesn't mean I agree.
Oh,
You didn't say sentiment. But anyways, just go.
Go ahead, Drew. I apologize. Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Anyway,
Drew, floor's yours.
I got Luke Musgrave here at number 3.
Ooh,
I do. Again, talking about complete packages. Kid's 6'6", 250. And he can move. That acceleration, his control, his hands. Like I said, full package. You're not seeing much downside with Luke Musgrave. So,
except for he only had 1 season of production.
Oh, now that fucking matters? Oh, now that matters. It's not just the combine that matters anymore? It's not just the physical stats here, Zach. It's actual college football that's going to determine draft position now?
I'm really confused. I combined Darnell Washington's playing at Georgia with his combine. His combine only elevated his status in my mind, but that's fine.
That's not what it felt like.
Really though?
Yeah, really though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you do realize that I'm like a surrogate Georgia fan, right? So I watched most of the Georgia games, but that's cool.
You took 2 shots at James for basing his opinions off of actual football playing.
You did. Drew's not lying. You did do that. That was something that happened.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone clear on where we're standing now?
Okay. So unless you have any more points on Musgrave, which I do like him. I don't have him on my list, but I do like Musgrave. I currently have Darnell Washington as my 4 because of the can factor. He's a really good blocker who can catch. He's a great blocking tight end, Zach's favorite breed. He is a solid blocker who can catch. And we all saw the combine, Zach. He has the athletic ability to be more than just like what he was used as in Georgia. But what we've seen is a really good blocking tight end who can catch.
Is this my cue to go, or I
don't know. We're right up on anything at this point.
I don't know. All right, my number 4, Tucker Kraft. There you go. That's my 4. Go for 5.
Zach's done talking for the day. He's done. I'm out.
I agree with James. I also have Darnell Washington at 4.
All right, so
Luke Musgrave 5, James.
Shut the fuck up. Do we have to have like a therapy session? What's going on, Zach? What's going on?
What?
Talk to us. Talk to us before we get to 5.
Oh, we're chilling. Go ahead. Go for it.
No, let's chat. Let's have a chat. Come on. What's going on, buddy?
No, seriously, Luke Musgrave at 5. I agree with what Drew said about him at 3, but I see him more as like a deep end tight end, deep threat tight end. Works well in contested catches. He was like the fastest tight end in all of college football last year. He topped 20 miles an hour at the Senior Bowl. So he does have like that burner speed. So kind of why I could see him being a deep threat. But again, another wide receiver. I don't get it. There's too many wide receivers. They're not tight ends.
What do you mean, dude? He's 6'6", 250.
Zach just tried to process the future. He is Squidward.
God.
Anyway. Drew, you want to go or should I?
I'll go.
Go for it, Drew.
Number 5, I agree with you in the fact that he should be in the top 5, and that's Sam Laporta. I like his play. I like his style. I like his moves. Ball skills, baby. Skills with the ball.
Mm-hmm. I do. I like all these guys. Just not
There's
as
a
much.
lot of good tight ends in this draft. A lot of good tight ends.
They're really, when you dive into it, this was a hard list to make. The top 5 tight ends. Like I feel like you get to a point where you're like, I'm cutting this guy out.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm like
There's
I
definitely
don't
a few.
know about. Hardcore there is. There's 2 other names you can flip in here, and in my list at least. My 5 to round off my list though is Tucker Kraft. This has been hyped up to an insane degree, and it might push the stock up, but he is hands down the most athletic tight end in this draft, and that's a stolen quote. But you watch him play, and he is just faster than people with his size. And granted, that's not like huge. I'd have to look up his actual stats, but I know he's not like huge. But he's faster. He's more agile on his body. It's super weird watching a tight end play like that. And I have this tendency to love athletic tight ends. Like I really loved Kyle Granson 2 years ago. I mean, we still haven't seen him come out of anywhere. But I think Tucker Kraft is a little more refined than Kylan, but we'll see. I like him. Tucker Kraft, Old Dominion. Don't scout the helmet.
I think it's a tough call. I think that he falls a lot into that thing that we were talking about with the quarterbacks in this draft. And you're getting a hell of a toolbox. Mm-hmm. Can you make those tools work is the key with Tucker Kraft. You don't have a huge sampling of what he can do against equal competition, considering where he played. There's I don't know. He's a project. He's struggled with drops. He drops 10% of the passes that you throw his way. So he has all the tools in the world. It's just going to take the right team in the right situation to bring out the best in him, and I think that he could be a very good tight end.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Drew. I really do. Obviously, I have him on my list, but I agree with you. Zach, do you have anything else you want to say? You maybe want to apologize to anybody.
I'm good. I got nothing else. I already said my 5, so.
All right. Well, then I guess I will take over at this point, and we're going into our team review. We are narrowing it down more because, man, it was a lot talking about 4 different teams for some reason. That took us way too much time. So we're down to 1 team at a time. We're already kind of moving with that. But we're on to the Chargers this week. A very interesting team that kind of feels like the old Chargers where they're just they're good. They're like very good, but they're never really getting past that like ceiling they have. And I think there's a lot of things you could point to. But I want to ask you guys, how much of that do you put on Brandon Staley's shoulders?
85%.
Yeah, I would say 80-85%. I mean, I feel like it's always been about the coaches. They've always had the potential, and your coach is there to maximize that, and he just hasn't been able to do it.
I have never liked Brandon Staley. He is just too much of an analytics guy. He's too, I don't know. He makes some very questionable decisions. He does not put his team in the best position to succeed consistently. That is a problem that is occurring over and over and over again. If I was the Chargers, I would be looking for a head coach. It sucks that they weren't out there looking to get Sean Payton in the building because I think that would have been a phenomenal fucking fit.
So good.
They need a coach who's proven that they can fucking win. They don't need these young dudes that all the other teams are going for because you're the Chargers, because you have a history of being right there all the time and being a team that's discussed as one of the better teams in the league consistently and just can never even really come close to getting it done. Even when it looks like they're easily going to get it done, they give up a 27-point comeback. Like the Chargers are gonna Charger until they change the management and the coaching of that team to veterans that know what the fuck is going on.
And I think the most tragic thing we could talk about is, like, at multiple points last year, we talked about how they are dealing with Justin Herbert on a rookie deal still, right? That window's shutting real fucking quick.
Yep.
So, one, to Drew's point, yes, you should have had that better coach in there this year. You should have been able to capitalize on that. And then if not, you have one more year. I mean, realistically, next year is the negotiating year. But with that window closing, you're losing money. You're losing a lot of cap space. You're losing a lot of players that are going to age out. Keenan Allen was on the border of getting cut this year. Like, that was a dude that was very likely getting cut. And there was going to be Mike Williams. I said Mike Allen. Mike Williams, Parham, who the hell else? Like, honestly, who the fucking hell else? And I think we'll talk about that a little bit later on the offensive side. But I think going into free agency, what they had to do is they had to look at what their biggest weakness is, which could be production on offense at some points, but was run defense. Run defense, they were near the bottom, and they were just terrible. I have some of the stats up here somewhere. I lost it. Oh God. So much stuff happening. Remember that time we knew how to run a show? The Chargers ranked 27th in 2022, allowing 144.2 rushing yards a game. That's fucking abysmal. I can't imagine, especially in a division like where you expected to be air raid. You expected every team to be taking the top off you, which I guess shout out to Brandon Staley. I don't know what their passing defense looked like. I was so hyper-focused on the rushing defense. But to get abused like that heavy through every single game this year, that's dumb to me. And I think they addressed it well, but I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are.
I think it's crazy that they're only 27th with that stat line.
You know who was – I'll talk about that in a sec, sorry. But you want to know who was last?
No, we fucking won't.
What do you mean we won't? It wasn't the Packers.
Oh, that's surprising. Actually.
No, actually, Green Bay, hey, right near Cleveland, 26-25. Houston allowed 170.2, almost 200 yards a game.
Yeah, Houston doesn't count.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's also a valid statement, Drew. I hate to be that guy, but that is a valid statement for Houston last year. So
pretty much any year, honestly.
Yeah. I think they did a really good job restructuring Mac. I think he's obviously can only help. Restructuring Allen, great. I think bringing in Eric Kendricks for what he is, he's an older linebacker. I think that just does wonders because he is not great in passing. Pass coverage, average at best. But run defense, that's where that man shines. And they needed something to fill that gap, and they did it well. Now,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for something. I was going to try to transition, but
yeah, I mean, especially for a 27th ranked rushing defense, and again, we don't really know the numbers for their passing defense, but their passing defense should be fine. Their secondary is stacked. They should be one of the top 5, if not top 3 secondaries in the league. I mean, you go across the board, and there's stars at pretty much every position back there at cornerback and safety. So it's just it's hard to imagine that, they would be hurting at pass coverage if they made a move like this. So
they're not. They were the number 7 team in pass defense last year. So the pass defense is good. The run defense.
But you're forgetting though that JC Jackson was injured and out for the entire year. What I'm saying is when they're fully healthy, they should be a top 3 passing defense in the league. Yeah. So I mean, the fact that they're 7th without, the star corner that they signed in the offseason speaks volumes. So especially in a division where it's supposed to be like you said, James, an air raid. Like, you have Patrick Mahomes, you play them twice a year. I mean, Derek Carr, he's not a pushover. He can still throws like 4,000 yards a year, a season. So I mean, that's not, you can't really sneeze at that. And I can't really make an argument for Russell Wilson. He sucks.
Lord knows what happened there.
So bad. I can't
can't
even. I don't even know. I can't say anything about that. So
You know what the scary thing is? I think that situation is going to get worse now that Sean Payton's there.
I agree.
I don't see him working well with Russell Wilson.
No.
I think there's a lot of like, not stoicism, but a lot of us like, no bullshit like Sean Payton and like Russell Wilson's practicing high fives. Like there's butting heads.
Mm-hmm.
He's either gonna get it real quick or get the boot real quick. I don't know which one's gonna come first. I'm assuming the latter, but I mean it should be really interesting to see what the Chargers are gonna do really to help that run defense. But again, I mean, just look at that defense. How are they giving up 27-point leads? How are they 27th in rushing defense? Like
28th.
What's that?
28th actually.
Oh, it's 28th. I thought it was 27th.
It's 28th.
Oh well, whatever. 28th in rushing defense is even worse. I mean, you have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on the line. That should account for something, and yet they're 28th in the league. That doesn't compute. So again, Eric Kendricks, good move for them to plug up some holes on that on the rushing defense. And again, if the passing coverage, great. They're 7th in the league. They're getting J.C. Jackson back next year. They'll be fine.
I guess, but like Fine doesn't win you that division. Fine might get you a wild card spot. I know. Well, yes.
No, but what I'm saying is that they're going to get J.C. Jackson back. They're going to have J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel Jr. As their top two corners, and they were 7th this year without J.C. Jackson. So I'm just saying, like, fine, meaning they're going to move up in the standings as far as if they're passing defense, if they go from 7th to 3rd. That comes with turnovers. That comes with stops on 3rd down. That comes with negated 27-point comebacks. I mean, it all comes with the territory. So when I mean fine, I mean that's going to win them some games. That move up from 7th to 3rd or 2nd in passing defense really should bolster them enough to win an extra game or two, make the playoffs, and hell, even win a playoff game.
They made the playoffs last year. It's just
but they're inconsistent about it.
Until
no
coaching fucking changes.
Right. No, I agree. Brandon Staley is a bum. He's a clown. He shouldn't be coaching in the NFL right now. Analytics, sure. If you want to put him on offensive coordinator, great.
Right.
He should not be an NFL head coach right now.
No. The analytics thing doesn't work. That's been proven so many times.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Like the analytics thing, as far as offense goes, I mean, it's a lot harder to coach an offense. So I mean, I don't know. I agree with you guys.
I agree with that.
Oh, I do. It's a lot harder to coach offense than defense.
Why?
Yeah, because you throw out a coverage on defense. Offense, you actually have to run plays.
Yeah, but you're running so many different coverages and packages, and you're responding to something as opposed to dictating what's happening on the field.
Yeah, but calling plays on defense in of itself is a simple thing. Calling plays on offense is intricate because you are matching what the defense is doing and trying to counteract that in of itself.
Well,
I'm talking about play calling specifically. Whatever happens on the field happens on the field. If you have someone out there that can make the adjustments, great. I'm talking about strictly from a play calling perspective.
Well, I mean, defensive play calling on the surface might be a little less complicated. There's less formations and packages in general, but
what I'm saying. That's it.
I don't think it's harder to coach an offense than it is a defense.
I guess that's a debate for another time, but
ooh. Do we have to bring another old?
I completely disagree.
I can't think of the word. Master debaters. That's where I was getting. I was teasing the whole.
We can bring that back and run a little side segment, but
I gotta do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this Chargers team is going to be able to do to fix what it needs to fix. I mean, I think kind of like we all said, it's really just about the head coach at this point. Once their window closes on Justin Herbert's rookie contract, they are going to be in cap hell.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of offense, I think we wouldn't be doing ourselves justice if we didn't at least talk about the Austin Eckler situation.
Hey, okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, it was in the old bank notes.
Appreciate that.
Austin Eckler demands a trade. Timeline demands a trade, and then comes out recently. Fast forward to now and says, I want to trade, but I also just kind of want to get paid. So I would love for that to be with LA. I almost said San Diego. Still can't get that one out of my head. Austin Eckler, coming off of a career year, has never had a 1,000-yard rushing season. That's a marker for a lot of people. That doesn't mean a lot. He has a lot of all-purpose yards. But 27 years old. Age apex for running backs is 26, right? What are you paying Austin Ekler? How long? What are you even willing to? Are you just moving on?
I mean, if I'm the Chargers, I'm probably trading him. I would want to get as much. I would want to maximize my profit while I can, especially where, again, Justin Herbert his rookie deal is closing. You're gonna have that money that needs to come off. I mean, running backs can be a dime a dozen. I'm sorry, but they really are. Austin Ekler is a little bit more of a specific case where, again, like Alvin Kamara, not typing, but like Alvin Kamara, where you're getting those all-purpose yards versus a bell cow who rushes for 1,500-1,600 yards a season. You're getting close to 1,700 all-purpose yards, which comes big. I mean, if you have a running back that is prototypically the same as Austin Ekler, trade him.
I disagree. I think for the same reason, actually. I think that Justin Herbert's window closing means that you need to keep your best players on the team as long as you can while the window is still open. And with discussions about Keenan Allen, and when's the last time that guy played a full season? Probably never. Mike, well, your receiving core is just always hurt. Always. So having a guy that's consistent like Austin Ekler, who doesn't get hurt that often, who can do everything you need him to do. He can run, he can catch, he can probably fucking throw. I don't know. But he is going to be your best weapon on offense, and I think you need to keep him there, if for nothing else than to keep Justin Herbert fucking comfortable. So,
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, I would I think moving him and utilizing whatever you get from that trade to go out and get another wide receiver that doesn't get hurt all the time would be fantastic. I mean, I just think that would benefit them because, again, you running backs can be a dime a dozen. You can go out in the draft and get it.
Can, and a lot of times it is pretty reliant on your offensive line play and the play of the rest of your team on how well you're going to be able to run the football. But like we've said, Austin Ekler is a special case. Austin Ekler is more than a running back, and even when he is running the football, with the football in his hands, that guy is fucking magical. He's slippery. He can break through. He can run through people. He knows how to run the football. He gets every yard he can on every play. There are few replacements for Austin Ekler out there.
Well, we're not the GM of the Chargers, so we'll see what they do.
So here's I know. Well, it's a whole other story. They actually do a pretty good job. So here's my thing. We're talking about running backs being a dime a dozen, right? And I think the hard thing for them is they're kind of looking at Austin Ekler and being like, this dude kind of was. Austin Ekler, considering, I didn't fucking know Austin Ekler in college. He went as an undrafted free agent, right? In today's day and age, he would have probably ended up in the XFL. And then maybe in the NFL. He is a very talented. I'm not trying to take away from Austin Eckler's talent. I think he is a phenomenal running back. But age 27, undrafted free agent, is just kind of showing that point that this dude's aging out. We can apparently find these dudes wherever. And running back is only a position that's only getting better. Thinking back to our top fives, we could have plugged so many dudes into that list. That is one of the most flexible lists before tight end, in my opinion. And I think if they look at him and say, like, we should pay him, I think they'll end up looking back at that and regretting it, and not just taking some dude on a cheaper deal or drafting some dude late or getting another undrafted free agent and giving Isaiah Spiller, who was a phenomenal running back in college, more of an opportunity.
Exactly. I mean, they've been able to draft those guys and have production. I mean, like you said, the guys that they have in waiting, Joshua Kelly, Isaiah Spiller, they can utilize those guys. And if they want to go out and draft someone, they can do that too. The running back class is so deep this year. And like you said, it gets deeper every single year.
There are options that I'm not saying that they're not going to be able to make something work. For the Chargers, I don't think you can take out the only consistent piece of your offense that's not Justin Herbert and be okay. If they lose Austin Ekler, regardless of who they use to plug that hole, unless they somehow step up and are fucking phenomenal, the Chargers are going to struggle next year.
Yeah, I mean, I just think about it in terms of Super Bowl winning teams. I can think of one team where their running back was pretty much the sole proprietor of that team. Either one of you guys want to guess who I'm talking about and which team that was?
I almost want to say Marshawn.
Nope.
I'm trying to think of the rest.
That was the defense that year. They scored like 3 touchdowns.
That is fair. That was elite. Oh, yeah.
Marshawn Lynch was obviously a key part of that team and could have easily won them that Super Bowl if not for Pete Carroll. But he didn't. I'm talking about James White. Dude scored 20 points by himself. James White. Anyone want to take a guess where he was drafted?
6, I think.
Yeah. Anyone have any idea where he is now?
Retired.
Yeah. Not a first-round running back. Wasn't the top running back in the league. He was a good, serviceable satellite back. He scored 20 points in the Super Bowl, and then he fell off into oblivion. You don't need a running back in this league to make it. You don't.
But you need weapons. You need weapons. If you don't have Austin Ekler, you don't
get someone else that's better on the front as a tight end or wide receiver. Running backs are a dime a dozen. You can find them anywhere.
I disagree. No.
I mean, personally, what I see
anymore.
You're right. They should sign Zeke. I agree.
No, bad James.
I think this is an age-old debate on dime a dozen running backs. I think we could talk about this to nausea, but or ad nauseum, whatever. I'm tired. I don't think there's much else really to dive into with the Chargers, if we're being honest. I think the last thing we'd really have to talk about is what we think they're going to do with that first overall pick, what they should be attacking. Or not first overall pick, sorry, first round pick.
First round. Where are they sitting currently? I forget.
Man, I just did this and I forget. The Chargers of Los Angeles are
like teens or early 20s, right?
21.
Zay Flowers.
I tend to agree. I mean,
again, if you're gonna keep Ekler and you still have that pick, you got to get a wide receiver. You have to. I mean, you have a solid offensive line, you have a solid defensive line, you have a solid secondary. Your linebackers are okay; they're pretty good, but wide receiver. I mean, they get hurt all the time. It's the one reason why that team doesn't succeed. Well, 1B under coaching. You have all the pieces to be a successful team, but you don't have anyone to throw the ball to after week 3. You got to get a guy that's able to make plays on that side of the ball. And I think Zay Flowers, I mean, I would love to see Zay Flowers in a Patriots uniform, of course, but he would be lethal on the Chargers. Lethal.
It would be disgusting. Especially keeping a guy in there like Zay Flowers, who I can't think of any time he's been injured in college. Like, Mike Williams is always beat up. Keenan Allen's always beat up. Give him someone healthy. Give him someone healthy that's going to be there.
Right.
I think you have to go receiver if you keep Ekler, or the only other logical pick would be an interior defensive lineman.
Yep.
Or
also fair.
Those are the only 3 options. If they do anything outside of that, they're fucking stupid. They're the Chargers, so they probably will.
That's true. They'll go punter first round.
Yep.
They just re-signed Scott. He's there.
JK.
I saw him on the list.
Yeah, J.K. Scott, such a good punter.
Yeah. I can hear the trauma behind that voice room.
Hardcore.
Yeah. At least it's no Kevin or Brandon. So
Anyway.
His name get brought up a lot. I feel bad.
So I think that is about it for the Chargers. I think it's time for some final thoughts. I don't know about you guys.
It is time for some final thoughts.
I think it's time for some final thoughts.
Ah, there it is. Got it.
Chargers are a great team in any other conference, but they're a middling team in the West.
I agree.
Calvin Ridley plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, that's why you were saying we're talking about the Falcons.
I'm really confused. The year that Kyle Pitts was drafted, he played and then was suspended, and now this third year he got traded. That was my point, Drew.
It sounded like you were saying that they still have the option to throw to Calvin Ridley if he were not.
No. I was saying they had Calvin Ridley, and that was the only person that they had to throw to his first season. So obviously he's going to get yards, but the production just isn't there as far as a tight end that you expect to take over a game for an offense that has no weapons. So, but yeah, that was my point with the Calvin Ridley thing.
Gotcha.
My final thoughts. Oh boy, the NBA is a joke of a sporting conglomerate. I can't even begin to go into that again. And yeah, I mean, honestly, if the Chargers don't go wide receiver and or interior defensive lineman, they're a piss poor franchise, bottom feeding franchise, which they already are. But that would just solidify my thoughts. There you go. That's it. This is my thoughts.
Yay.
I live with them. They're terrifying.
All right. Well, if that is it, thank you all so much for joining us today on this episode of Garbage Time. You know where to find us everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikToks, at BOTA Sports. Thank you to every single one of you who listens in, who likes, who stopped by on this live stream just to say hi. We love and appreciate you. We appreciate every single like, so thank you so much. This will be uploaded eventually, and we'll let you know. Oh, fuck. Zach just slammed a meat on the table. It's kosher kielbasa on the table and said tomorrow, bitch.
Not again.
Anyway, so this will be up tomorrow, which is a Friday. That is the day. That is how calendars work in weeks. You can listen to it post. You can watch it after. But we really, like I said, appreciate you guys stopping in. So thank you so much. Do your sign-offs and let me do mine. Do your thing.
I'll kick it off to...
No, he always finishes. You can't. No.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Well, stay
Come
sorry.
on. You know how the fucking show works.
I'll go into the shame bin. Hold on here.
Quick, keep him there. Add him back. Let's bring him back. Anyway, I almost removed you accidentally. Stay beautiful. Stay beautiful. Zach, that's...
Wait, what do you mean? I said stay soggy already. What the fuck?
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, I thought you just
guys
moved yourself to the timeout bin.
Yeah, I did. I moved myself to the timeout bin. I already said stay soggy. It's up to you guys. Take it away.
Did you hear the stay soggy?
I did not hear it. So
I didn't hear the stay soggy.
Like 3 times. Stay soggy.
Bye.
I wanna go.